So that was just an ordeal at Walmart. Like, you have no idea. So I went in to return a bunch of stuff. Let me recall. 2 rolling hanger racks, a Nerf gun, a pink stand lamp, a bookshelf, a rug, and I think that was it. Oh, and my Ninja blender. I returned my Ninja blender because I used it once in the past 2 weeks, and I was like, I'm never going to use this. There's no point in having this. It was $67. There's no reason to have this. So, and I had a receipt for the Ninja blender, which was good because it was really expensive. Like I said, $67. So, I returned that, and then they looked at everything in my cart, and they started looking at me really funny. And they were like, you need to step aside. And I was like, okay. So then they're doing all this stuff, and there's a CSM and a manager and then another worker, and she starts asking me, do you have a receipt for any of this? And I said, no, I've been buying it, periodically over the past since the beginning of the month, which wasn't really true. Some of the stuff I've had longer than a month, but I figured, a month is it's only been 2 weeks since the beginning of April. So she's like, can you give me an exact date of when you bought this? And I was like, last week, within the last 2 weeks. I was like, something like that. And she was like, we need an exact date. And I was like, well, what's today? Because I didn't know the date. And she told me the date. And I was like, well, I think I bought some stuff last Monday, this previous Monday, and then some of the stuff I bought the week before. And she was like, do you remember dates? And I was like, no, I don't. And then she was tapping things on the little cash register keyboard and screen and all this stuff. And then she was like, morning or afternoon? What? Did you buy this stuff in the morning or in the afternoon? What time? Do you know specific times? Bitch, I couldn't even tell you what day. How would I know what time I came here? So I was like, probably the evening. I was like, we've just been buying stuff for our house, and then we buy in excess, and then we're like, okay, we don't need this. We actually don't need it, so I've been bringing it back. I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like the rug that I bought, and I didn't. It was horrible. And so she was just kind of giving me the third degree. And then there was this the CSM guy who was just like, we're not going to take that, you need approvals and blah blah blah. And he was just like, whatever. So they didn't talk to me for 10-15 minutes, and I had my son with me, and he was in his car seat, and he started getting a little fussy, so I picked him up and took him out. And I had showed them that I had my ID, and I stuck it in my purse, and then somewhere between there it got lost, it got stuck in a pocket. Well, anyway, after 10 minutes of them not talking to me and putting things into the computer and then walking around and scanning, she came over to my cart and scanned everything, and I was like, is it just too much stuff that I'm returning? I mean, is that the problem? And she's like, well, we always try to get a receipt number. She's like, did you use a debit card or a credit card or cash? And I was like, I think I used a debit card, I think. She's like, do you have it on you? And I was like, no, I don't. I was like, my parents have it. I was like, they were helping me buy stuff. And she's like, is there any way you can get a hold of them? I was like, no. I was like, my dad's at the VA hospital today and my mom's working, which was a lie. I had the card on me. I just didn't want them to pull up the receipt because some of the stuff is older than I was saying it was, but I still wanted to return it. It was unopened, it was unused stuff, and I don't see the problem. So anyway, so after another 10 minutes, she was finally this older woman that was just a regular sales associate was like, you need to lift and put all this stuff on the counter so I can scan it. Fine, that's fine. So I pick up, and they're like, do you have, and then she's like, do you have a license? And I was like, yeah, I just had it out, I'll get it. And then, of course, I couldn't find it because it had fallen into, the zipper pocket where I keep, change and stuff. So I was going through that, trying to find it. I should probably close the window. I was trying to find that, and that took like a few minutes. I had to keep watching my son because he was in the cart and he was trying to flip himself out of it. So anyway, I found my license, I gave it to her. Then I'm standing there, and after they scanned everything, and they're standing there staring at my license for like 5 minutes. For like 5 minutes, they're staring at my license, not whisper, and they're like whispering to each other and like looking at each other. And then they called like that guy over, and they were just like, and the guy was going, no, you can't do it, no. And I was like, and I had my hat was like tilted down, and I was kind of like peeking through the little eye holes of my hat, like what the hell is going on? Because I was just playing with my son, trying to keep him distracted. And they turned to me like, do you have another ID? And I looked at them and I was like, no, that's my only ID. And they looked at me like I was insane. They looked at me like I had lobsters coming out of my ears, okay? I was like, this is a wig. I'm wearing a hat and this is a wig. And they were like, what? And I said, my head is like shaved. This is a wig. Because in my license picture, I have really short black hair, which is my normal hair. And it's what it is now, but I said it was shaved. I'm like, my head is shaved. I was like, this is a wig. And she was like, really? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I wear wigs and I shave my head and cut my hair really short. I was like, but I like to, have hair sometimes. And she was like, oh. And they were like, oh, okay, well, whatever. And then they just gave me my gift card. And I think they were trying to, like, give me the cash back for my items that I purchased. And I told her, I was like, I don't care if I have a gift card. That's fine by me. I don't need the cash. I'm going to shop here. Anyway, it's Walmart. And we have, like, the super center Walmart where Walmart has, like, the whole food section. And then they have, like, jewelry and clothing and makeup and hair and toys. And they have an entire electronics section. Like, they have everything. So it wasn't like I was trying to just get money out of them to go spend somewhere else. I mean, that'd be awesome. But no, I had bought the stuff at Walmart. I was returning it to Walmart. It was all purchased from that store. But they were just so rude. Like, when I got up there, they were just so rude. It was like I was inconveniencing them. And I wanted to be like, this is your job? I've never had a problem with returning things to Walmart. And I understand, like, they have a stricter policy now, especially because, like, people shoplift things and return them. And I'm not going to lie, I am guilty of doing that, like, in my past, like, stealing products, anything, really, and then returning it to get the cash, just so I would have money. And not because I was poor, but because my parents would, like, cut me off. And don't get me wrong, like, I'm not rich, and they weren't, like, cutting me off. It's just I spend way too much money. And so at my peak of my depression and anxiety, I was stealing and like wanting to buy stuff and wanting to have a ton of stuff. So I understand they want to be careful, they, whatever, but their attitude, it was just ridiculous. Like, I felt like I was being treated like a criminal. Like, not even like a criminal. I don't even know how I felt. I just felt so confused by the whole thing. I was just like, bitch, really? Like, it's a lamp and some a rug and a bookshelf. Like, is it that big of a deal? Like, I don't understand. So anyway, that is my rant for the moment. Oh, I'm gonna go back later because Ash was being I wanted to shop since I have money. So like, Ash was being like freaking out and starting to like get fussy. So we're at my parents, his grandparents, my parents' house. And I'm going to go back later and do some shopping, but that was just ridiculous. And now I really need some retail therapy, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really need to go shopping, retail therapy. But anyway, yeah, that was my little rant, my Walmart experience for the day. Bye, guys.